I'm Batman. But actually, I'm not. I'm Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, oh, and I'm Red Hood. The Gotham Knights are here, and there's a city full of crime as well to explore and defeat all of the goons. Now, here is my tips and tricks for Gotham Knights to get you started. Let's go. Put any tips and tricks that you have in the comments down below, and also ask any questions you have, and I'll try and get back to you as well, so we can all help each other out. So we'll start out with just like general starting out tips, you know, those initial stages. Now, your first decision, you're gonna have to pick between the 4 knights. Now, this feels like a big decision, but it's really not. After like the first mission or so, you can freely switch between them as you like. They all level up together as well, so you can, as you progress, you get XP, you can like switch between them and choose the different levels. They do have separate gear though, so for each one, you will need to like craft separate gear and get blueprints for each of them. But the main thing is really you do have that choice to switch between them. The big thing, however, and I can't stress this enough, is that you kind of need to pick one to main initially. Now, there is these things called the knighthood challenges. Now, you will have to do this for every single one of the 4 characters. Now, you really should do this like almost as soon as you get access to the open world. This will unlock the knight's special traversal mechanic. So for Batgirl, it's gliding. For Nightwing, he gets like the Fortnite glider, basically. And in order to do this, you'll need to take down 10 premeditated crimes, fight 3 mini bosses, as well as do a timed strike challenge, which is like super easy, which as a side note, you should do all of the challenges they teach you about the games, like combat mechanics and some interesting things, so make sure you do them. The disappointing thing about this is that you have to do these 3 specific things, the crimes, the mini bosses, and the time challenge for every single character to unlock this unique travel mechanic. Now, it will also unlock the additional skill tree, like the 4th skill tree, which has their ultimate ability behind, as well as some of their stronger abilities and like unique abilities to that character. So really, in those initial stages of the game, you really want to pick a character that you're kind of going to main, so you can not only get like the blueprints and the best gear, but also do that knighthood challenge, because those challenges will take you like an hour to 3 hours to do one, and you've got to do it for all 4 if you want to get these upgrades for all 4, but they do take time, and you just kind of want to pick whichever one to do. And honestly, exploring Gotham City without this traversal mechanic sucks. The bike is pretty slow, and just like grappling everywhere takes a lot of time. You really should be doing that like as soon as you can. You want to do that knighthood challenge. We'll talk about those premedicated crimes and like how to do them a little bit later when we talk about patrolling, but that's really those initial things for the starting out of the game. We'll get into some combat tips here. You can do perfect evades, which will allow you to counter and then knock back enemies. When they go to swing at you, you need to wait until the circle reticule has like the little jagged lines on it, then you can dodge and then immediately follow up while attacking that enemy, and you'll like knock them back. If you time your attacks correctly, you'll also deal extra damage, which is highly recommended because enemies are literal sponges for damage. You do this by attacking at the time your previous strike hits. You'll know you get this right because there's like a little white like puff when you get the damage right, and you obviously do more damage. You can learn how to do these in the challenges as well, so you can tinker with it and practice there. I've also been playing around with elemental attacks and elemental damage types, which you'll get access to around like level 10-ish, and these seem to be really valuable and absolutely worth investing in if you do get weapons that have this elemental damage on them, whether it's like frost or electricity or burn or whatever it have you, because it just increases your damage that you can do to that target. There is stealth in this game, as you would typically expect, and those silent takedowns will instantly kill enemies, and it's really valuable to do, especially to whittle out some of the enemies on the outer side before you actually get into like initial kind of combat. Robin also has the unique ability to be able to stealth take down the big brutes that you see, which is huge because these guys have so much health and they take forever to actually take down. So having a Robin in your party, or just using Robin if you want to take down those brutes if they annoy you, absolutely worth doing. Also, you should be trying to do the bonus objectives in those kind of encounters to get those extra rewards and XP, so do them when you can. Let's patrol Gotham City. So when you're patrolling the city, you'll have a number of collectibles and missions to complete. The further you get in the game, the more kind of flexibility and different things will start unlocking. However, most of these are pretty repetitive in what they are. It's usually just these different types of crimes or different collectibles and things to do and different people to talk to. But for the most part, once you get further into the game, you want to do as many of these in those one like patrolling sessions as possible, because you will often have like a mission which will just be to go to a location, and it might just be like a crime, or it could even just be a cutscene, and then it'll be to return to the belfry. And it's a bit annoying if you have to, you know, go out on patrol and do that one thing and it's just a cutscene and then go back. So make sure you're looking at your actual like quest log and filling out as many of these in each patrol session as you can. And it's like those min-maxing things, right? Make sure you're doing that. There's also a fast travel system which you will eventually unlock, and in order to do this, you need to scan these drones to unlock that location as a fast travel point. You'll just find those drones around and they'll mark on your map once you have unlocked them. them. The main focus in this open world, and really the main crux of things you'll do in this open world, is those premeditated crimes. Now, when you need those progress points for your knighthoods, as well as some of the story missions, it's really important to make sure you can tick these off. If you hover over the map of like a specific region, you'll see like a crime in that region on the right side, whether it's like a question mark or an exclamation mark. This will indicate that there is a crime in that region. Sometimes it won't actually show on the map, like when you're outside that area. When you get closer, it might show, or you may need to actually interrogate someone in order to get that crime to show and tell you where it is. So when you scan people, some of them will have that little question mark above them, and if you capture them, like grab them and then interrogate them, you'll actually get information from them, and it might unlock different premeditated crimes for you. If you do run out of crimes, you can end that night's patrol and then go back in, and you'll get like heaps more to be able to do, so you can just like go through that loop of being able to do them. Let's talk about crafting and mods. Now, there is a full like loot grind in this game with like a power level and like stats to increase all your typical stats. Now, crafting and loot is pretty important, especially for your power level. As you get higher into the levels and start doing some of the story missions, you will want to make sure that your level matches the level of the missions you're trying to do, or at least is higher, because it will be hard to do if you don't hit those levels. Most of the crafting materials and gear will come from completing missions, as well as opening chests that you find in the world and out at like crime events. You'll just see them around or in missions, and you go open them and you'll get either blueprints or the crafting materials. I've honestly never run out of crafting materials. Like, the cost to actually craft things is so low, but you can get heaps of these just by doing that kind of stuff. Now, the blueprints is probably the main thing as to why you want to open these chests and find them, because the blueprints with where you get some of that better, higher quality gear, as well as those upgrades. You can actually find pieces of gear in these chests, but for the most part, you'll probably be looking at the crafting elements and actually crafting some of that higher level gear. There is also mod slots on some of the better gear that you will get. You'll get mod slots onto that gear that you can put onto them. You'll find mods in the exact same way you find the other gear, but you can also get them from doing the cache like challenges that you'll find throughout the world. You get tons from doing those as well, and some of the better upgrades from that. Now, mods can also be fused together, so if you get heaps that you don't like, or you want to try and create a more powerful one, you can actually fuse like 4 mods together to create like a more powerful version. I haven't really found too much need to do this, as for the most part, like just whatever the highest level mod that I have will often just give me the best benefits, so I usually just put that on, but you can do that as well. You can also customize your suits and your bike in the styles screen. You can go and like customize your main suit, or you can transmog into like one of the other like more iconic suits if you want to do that as well. And you can also customize your bike at the Belfry. From what I have found as well, you only find blueprints, like the crafting blueprints for gear, for the character that you are actively playing at that time. So if you want to switch between different characters and get blueprints and better upgrades for them, you want to do that, switch to them, and then go out in the world, do like find chests, do the crimes, that kind of thing, to find those upgrades, that you can get the upgrades for the specific characters. Though it does seem that you can find gear for different characters, as I barely played Red Hood, but I did have gear for him, but I didn't have any blueprints for him when I was playing around with those kind of systems. But that is pretty much all of the tips and tricks to get you started. Let me know in the comments if you have any more of your own things that you have found in the game, so we can all help each other out with all that stuff. Thank you for watching the video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is {N}, and I hope you have a great day.